All right.
And we're back.
Welcome back to the GSL Code A. This time I'm not joking. Sheth and San are playing. This time I'm not joking. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So coming up next, what? What were you saying?
Oh, what?
What did you just say to me?
I didn't say it. I just said
okay,
yes.
anyways, coming up we have Sheth versus San.
We
Wolf
do?
was correcting me. I called him San.
Yeah, he was like, is it San versus Sheth? I was like, no, it's San. San actually means
San.
mountain, I was told, and I didn't know that.
So we have Sheth versus the Mountain. Who will triumph? Good
Did you ever watch Mulan?
versus evil.
And it's like,
Black versus white.
Okay, QXC. I'm trying to make a Mulan reference here,
Shadow
man.
versus light.
Groundhog's Day versus Valentine's Day.
Pumpkins.
Oh, you said shadows. Just wanted to say Groundhog's Day. But I don't know if you guys remember Mulan. There's this scene where like the old guy's there and the Hun guy's there. He's got like this giant sword, and he's like bow, and he's like, the wind can blow, but the mountain will not bow. And he's just like, shut up, old man. I don't need your crazy weird sayings.
And then they cut his head off. Oh, and that is San. Good multitasking and macro skills.
But he's kind of weak in the early game.
He is a little weak in the early game.
He actually has lost to a lot of all-ins, especially in ZVP. So that's something we've talked a little bit about to Sheth.
Does Sheth all in? I feel
No,
like
he doesn't. But Sheth, you don't put it past Sheth to scout something and then make a round of speedlings and just get into the base.
Yeah.
He's definitely not opposed to doing stuff like that.
So San, actually a former Code S player for quite a number of seasons here, dropped down to Code A. I think just in the last one. This is
his first time in Code A. I would be really surprised if he doesn't make it back up through the up and down matches back into Code S. He's a really, really talented player. And there is Sean Simon Sheth. Creative builds and unique keyboard location. He actually uses his keyboard in his lap.
Sheth actually plays with the keyboard on his lap. There's a story, there's some reason for it. I don't remember exactly what it is. And here, this is actually Sheth's only second match televised in Korea. So obviously San having a lot more experience there.
Yeah, he actually was really nervous in the team league, but I think now he's feeling a lot more comfortable. QXC and I both just kind of talked with the team before the match, saying, how is he feeling? Does he feel really ready? And yeah, he feels a lot better than he did last time. So he seems a little nervous right now, though. But I gotta say, once he gets in and gets into his groove, I think he'll be fine.
Yep. He's ready. He's been practicing a lot with a lot of different Koreans. I think he's been playing with
a lot of different processes on Boyu.
Yeah.
And just some other processes in general. Some Protoss on Prime. He's played with Oz a lot, who's definitely a really good Protoss, and
quite good.
He actually, his best matchup is ZVP, so he's feeling really good about this match.
This is definitely probably one of the best case scenarios for Sean in the first round of Code A, playing against a Protoss. Obviously, someone with a little less experience might have been better, but he's in his element. He's playing the race that he wants to play against, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, San, I feel like based on how San walked in here, he's just kind of been hanging around a little bit. He's been here for a while today, and every time I get a look at him, he seems extremely confident and comfortable, so I don't think nerves is going to be an issue for him at all, whereas Sheth, he's trying to get in his groove, maybe a little bit more nervous, but it is his best matchup.
And here we're taking a look at the Korean commentator for a moment, and we do see some probes mining, so we'll be jumping into the game momentarily here.
Momentarily. I'm getting stuck on my chair.
Maps, Crossfire, Crevasse, and Metalopolis are the three maps here.
First map, obviously, Crossfire.
Yep, we are on Crossfire. I'm not sure ZVP, I don't know how,
We'll talk about it in a little bit when we jump into the game.
All right.
Before, I just want to talk about your bandana. I think it's really nice.
Do you like it?
I do. All right, here we go. Jumping into the game.
Here we go.
All right, up here at the top, a very solid Protoss player on the same team as Bonbons, who played just before. He is former Code S player and goes by the ID. It's supposed to be a mountain, I think.
I think that was a mountain. It looked like a mountain.
Yeah.
Sun.
Should just put the guy from Mulan there.
And here we go, in the bottom left-hand corner. The American powerhouse Zerg coming to Korea to compete for the first time.
Sheth.
It's actually very difficult for Koreans to say his name. That's why he said very difficult beforehand.
I guess the TH isn't a Korean sound.
Yeah, it's very difficult. SH in general is just difficult for them too. Like they're not entirely sure how to say it because they don't have just like a sh. They have like a she. I'm not gonna give you guys a Korean lesson, but.
And here we see San being very aggressive with that probe. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this. I feel like he should at least wait until the probe gets all its shields back to keep harassing. But
yeah, you almost lost that probe.
Maybe he's just trying to get inside Sean's head a little bit. Sean, Sheth, same person.
Yeah.
I know him mostly as Sheth, but you may not.
Right?
You don't.
Now, remember, on this map, it's very difficult to fast expand as a Protoss, so we do see San is kind of getting his gate and then his core. Most likely going to be doing some sort of sentry expand. Obviously, forge fast expand is very difficult when your natural's that far away, and for that very same reason, it's very difficult for Sheth to justify going hatch first on this map. So that's why he's going for a speed expand, which has really become the standard in PvZ right now.
And here we see San doing some denying at the natural expansion of Sheth, keeping that drone from putting down the expansion. We do see a zealot coming out from San. Probably just to wall in. I'm not sure if he's... No, it's not... Oh my god. Hiccuping and crazy. Does chrono boost out the zealot, gets a sentry, so he's just going to be playing defensive. Did he see the expansion go down?
Well, he saw the Zerlings chase off his probe, so he doesn't actually know that it's down, but he did verify that Sheth was no longer mining gas, so he knows it's not going to be a roach all-in. So at this point, he can assume that the expansion will go down. And he's actually making a sentry back at home. It will be out in time to help deny these speedlings, or Zerlings, I should say. They haven't grown up into speedlings quite yet.
Oh, and a Stargate. Very interesting from San. And here almost pushes down the ramp. What's the probe doing?
The probe is going to make a pylon at the bottom of the ramp, and he's going to start building that wall up to take his nexus, or at least that's what he wants Sheth to think.
Yeah, so it looks like what he's doing now is he doesn't want Sheth to poke up the ramp to see that the gateway wasn't building something and the core is not being chrono boosted. Basically just denying his opponent as much information as possible to keep him in the dark.
Exactly, and the pylon does go down here, but Sheth's speed has finished, and he has to wait here a little bit longer because he didn't make gateways initially, made that Stargate instead, so he just doesn't have enough units to really push down the ramp quite yet. Sheth doing a good job with those Zerlings, though does end up losing one of them.
And I think if Sheth is really observant, he should know that something is a little off here. The second sentry just came out. I feel like if he was actually doing some kind of 3-gate expand, we would see a bit more in the number of units.
Yeah, well, Sheth did just make 12 speedlings, so I think that he kind of expects some sort of Stargate play, and essentially what Sheth is doing here, he's making an Evo chamber back at home, so he's got that, no matter what's going on, if it's DTs, if it's Stargate, he's going to have that Evolution chamber to make spores.
Right.
At the same time, he's making a bunch of speedlings so that if San's plan fails and he wants to just fall back to an expansion, it's going to be very difficult to do so.
And here, Sheth does have enough speedlings to make it very hard for San to move out. And this is a pretty good strategy here. Basically what he's doing is applying pressure at the front, making it very hard for San to move out without revealing what he's doing. And here we see the Overlord completes kind of the web of lies that Sheth had ensnared his opponent in. He uses the Overlords from both sides, speedlings. He knows the plan now. He knows there's a Void Ray. He sees the expansion. He's got enough units to apply pressure, and he can make the right decisions from this point.
He certainly can, and here comes the Overlord actually into the main base of San. There's not a whole lot to see that he didn't already know, but it is going to be quite helpful for him to get in there. He's going to see no robotics at the very least.
I do find this a little bit questionable. I feel like he's already seen everything there is to see. The Nexus, the sentry count, the Void Ray. Maybe he wants to see if the Stargate's building or more gateways. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think that you're right. He wants to see, are you making more Voyages? Are you making Phoenixes? Are you adding a bunch of gates? Are you going to pull a bonbons, or rather not bonbons?
Who was that?
We have bad memory.
Yeah. The Protoss. He added 7 gates.
Who added the 7 gates? Yeah.
That one.
That guy.
That guy. The 7-gate Protoss. That will be his new nickname. I hope we can get that in like the tooltip. No, also known the player formerly known as the 7-gate Protoss.
It's kind of like the artist formerly known as Prince, man.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
Thanks for picking up on that.
Well, I know just some people out there, some nerds are young like us, but just didn't listen to good music back in the day.
I didn't listen to that either. I don't actually know what it's from.
Prince, he had to change his record label. It was complicated. He couldn't use the same name, so he had to change names, so he just used the artist formerly known as Prince instead of using Prince.
And actually, this is looking really bad for Sheth. All of these units just streaming down.
Yeah, he actually is
What
he's actually
happened?
just doing this off of 3 gates. And this happens when you start talking about Prince, things just go wrong.
That was really interesting. What I don't understand is how Sheth didn't see that coming. I'm assuming he used the Void Ray to deny the watchtowers, but it did feel like Sheth kind of got caught unaware.
Yeah, he did have the Spore Core at the front of his base to be prepared to help with the Void Ray. The Void Ray just does a lot of damage when it's with that army, so that's the reason why he has that Spore Core there. And I think he just felt maybe a little bit too comfortable. I think he felt like, oh, no matter what he does, I'll be fine right now.
Yeah.
And the Void Ray smartly goes down here at the bottom right to check for that 3rd base location. It's empty though. The Sheth is actually making a Spire off the 2-hatch.
And this is actually a really good... This opening makes a lot of sense on this map. The 1 Void Ray, the 3rd base is very far away, and you can actually see on the minimap there is something that just died to the Void Ray in the bottom right. I assume a drone.
Yeah.
And because the 3rd is so far away, it is quite hard for the Zorg to take that, and it's quite easy for the Protoss to deny it until those Hydras or Mutalisks come out to deal with that Void Ray.
And a Zealot is going to meet an unfortunate end here as he runs into a nest of Speedlings. Does get taken out, but there are a lot of units here.
And if these get force-fielded, that would be really bad. And Sheth, what is Sheth looking at? Well, he's not looking at that, but a number of Zerglings do go down. I think he killed 1 sentry, and you can see both players playing a similar strategy, but with different units.
That Void Ray not controlled properly.
Void Ray does go down quite easily. I don't think he expected there to be Queens off creep like that. And does focus fire down his pylon so he can move out. And Blink has just finished, so we're going to see a very strong timing attack coming from San here, and 9 Mutalisks being made.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a funky spot. This happens a lot in this matchup, where one player goes to attack and kills a 3rd base, but the Mutalisks come out, and the Mutalisks come to the Protoss' base before he can get back, and the Protoss has to decide, do I go home, or do I just try to warp into units there and defend, and it gets really weird. Nice reaction by San, making that pylon there again, so he's completely walled off once again.
And Sheth knows at this point, San has to just go forward, kind of.
Yeah, he can't really. He's put his Stalkers in a weird spot. He didn't go for that 3rd base location. He's actually just going to attack at the natural.
Yep.
And Sheth is like, well, actually, that makes it really easy to defend because all my units are here. And he's just going to keep falling back to this ramp, using good force fields.
Oh, good force fields. San walling off a lot of Zerglings there.
Yeah, and there's so many Stalkers. Sheth just cannot engage with those Mutants just yet.
One good thing here, Sheth, I think he was able to kill at least 1 or 2 sentries. Whittling down that sentry count will make Speedlings much more effective. And one good thing, at least that came out of that engagement, is the force fields did prevent San from moving forward immediately.
That's
he
true.
Just killed
his own Stalker. It happens when you're attacked moving like a boss.
Yeah.
And these Mutants actually going to circumvent here, trying to come over here and hit some of the isolated Stalkers.
And Sheth might actually go for a run-by. I'm not sure what those Speedlings are going to do. Maybe he's checking for a 3rd?
Yeah, he's checking for the 3rd. He may do a run-by if he gets the opportunity to.
That is a lot of Stalkers, though. And Sheth is continuing to make Mutalisks. Is that... I mean, I'm assuming it's the right thing, but I don't really understand.
Well, the reason why you keep making mutas is if once you get that 3rd base up, if you can just hold that and you keep making mutas, eventually you can use the mutas to defend if you need to, but more so you stop making them after a certain point. Then you just keep going to the Protoss' base to buy yourself time. And the Protoss eventually gets to this point where he has to make the decision, do I just base race with this guy? Because every time I move out, he kills my probes, and then if I go home, I still lose the probes, his mutas escape, and then, just do this little dance for a while, and eventually the Protoss is like, I actually just have to kill him, and then you end up in a base race.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what Sheth is going for, using these mutas on this map. Plus, sorry to cut you off, plus with the mutas, the Stalkers can't really be as mobile through these little choke points. Even with Blink, it's very difficult for the Stalkers to kind of walk around there, so the mutas kind of take precedence there.
This is really interesting. I'm not sure what Sheth's plan is. Maybe he's going for a Protoss sandwich? A sandwich?
Sandwich.
A sandwich, sorry.
I keep correcting you on that pronunciation, man.
To me, it feels like Sheth is really buying time.
He's
got an extra base, and by moving his army on the map, he's just threatening a lot of different things. He doesn't actually have to attack, but right now with San's army so close to his base, he can't really take the third. And now we see San's army is really far away, does do some damage with the speedlings, and this buys Sheth a lot more time. He's able to take the gold, he gets a drone over there, he might be able to take out that pylon, kill the watchtower.
And he is actually going to take that pylon out. We'll get a shot of it in a second here in the middle of the map. There you go.
There
You got
it
a
is.
shot of it.
And all of this works to kind of delay San.
Yeah.
Sheth doing a very good job of maneuvering his army around the map. And San does pick off 1, 2. Oh, this is not good for Sheth. Does get caught, all those lings. Does not get a lot of compensation. Loses 3 or 4 Mutilis. And that is a lot of Stalkers.
Yeah, well, there are 72 speedlings in total on the map. He did lose a lot there, but he's got so many more just back at his natural. He's actually taking that 4th base over there.
Oh, and that gold is going to go down very soon.
Yeah, there's no way he can hold that, unfortunately.
Not at all.
He may decide to try to use his Mutalisk to do that counterattack I was mentioning, though. And actually, there aren't that many Stalkers, and this is
really
actually
interesting.
This is a smart move by San. He sends most of his Stalkers back home to defend against the inevitable Mutalisk counterattack.
Right.
And he sends just enough Stalkers to take out that base. Now, Sheth's coming over here with these Mutas, but San is going to be prepared for that.
And the really cool thing about what San did there is because Sheth didn't have an eye on his army, he didn't know where the majority of the army was. So he didn't know, should I go for a base raise? Not a base raise, but should I go counterattack his main? Do I need to send all of my army there? He doesn't know because he doesn't see the army. And we have a Dark Shrine halfway down.
Yeah, the Dark Shrine is going to come into play here pretty soon. It's going to make it very difficult for Sheth to take that gold base. And in addition, it's just going to be very annoying for Sheth to deal with. He's going to have to start making some more Spore Crawlers. He's going to have to be very prepared. He does have a Spore Crawler at every base right now, actually, though, so he is kind of prepared. He doesn't have one in his bottom right base, but he has one in the main. And then another little attack here. Nice Blink Stalker control by San. Even though he's down on supply, he just hasn't been losing units. He's just been using them very cost efficiently. Right now, upgrade-wise, San has 1/1 upgrades for his ground units. Sheth, on the other hand, I'm trying to check, has +2 melee attacks and also has +2 air weapons. So he's got the upgrade. The upgrade battle is going in his favor just a little bit.
Sheth getting the upgrades that allow him to kill things faster.
Right.
Sheth likes killing things.
Yeah, he actually seems like a nice guy, but he actually likes to kill things.
You haven't seen him at
You haven't seen him, like, he, like, steps on cockroaches, he sees them on the street, he doesn't think about it. Like, if an ant comes in his house, he doesn't, like, put on a piece of paper and take it outside, he crushes it.
And then he headbutts people.
He does.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying. I'm actually getting scared right now, man. Not only because of the headbutts, because the Mutas
are in the base of San. They are doing a ton of damage here. That is a huge number of Mutas, taking out the cannons. And the Stalkers are in the base, and Sheth is going to see that third, and I don't think, can we go to San's third? No, San does have quite a number of units there. He might be able to snipe that Nexus, but it looks like he's going to just have to back off.
Yeah, but meanwhile, DTs have denied the base over at the 9 o'clock position, and in fact, he's killed a lot of drones with those. A lot of drones were transferring over, so they took a lot of hits, and even these Stalkers are going to come over here and deny the gold base yet again. So San has secured his own third base, and Sheth might start getting into a little bit of trouble here.
Look at that. We have 33 Banelings being morphed right now. And I would see, it looks like it's going to be Baneling drops. So explain to me, why are we doing Baneling drops against mass Stalkers?
Well, the problem is the Stalkers really have a tendency to clump up, and if you're blinking back, the Mutas will just keep firing, so you can't blink back forever. And so while you're trying to blink back, the Stalkers that stay get hit by Banelings, and they're all clumped up, and it gets really nasty. Nice little blink here.
Here we see a little bit of engagement. The gold is going to go down. San just doing a very good job of maneuvering. Does not let Sheth take a fourth, and has secured his third, and a nice engage in the middle. There it is. That is so many Stalkers. Those Stalkers want to be Baneling. And I think this is it. Sheth is going to do it, kind of.
Yeah, his Banelings actually came in way too late.
Yeah, I'm really confused here. I would really have liked to. Oh, and it looks like Sheth is starting to. The Banelings are coming out, but they're not close enough.
Yeah, this is actually what I would like to call choking hard. I mean, he went for it at the complete wrong moment.
It was just a little bit of mistiming, misstepping there. If the Overlords had been with that army when he had engaged, that would have gone a lot better. And it kind of feels like San is whittling him down mentally. He's been applying pressure the whole game, moving his army around, forcing Sheth to react. and defending quite well against Sheth's advances. And then when Sheth finally gets sick, he's like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. San is ready. He's in position. It's looking bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's still stuck on those 3 bases. San has taken his own third. He wants to take another base up here at the top left. Get a shot in a second. It is blocked by a Zergling, though. And, Sheth actually is in a lot of trouble. He does have a lot of units
and
here.
And the Banelings are rolling in. Banelings on creep quite fast. The Banelings do a lot of damage here, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. There's just so many Stalkers on the field right now.
And Sheth, he just had to back away. Just didn't have the Mutalisk count he needed. And these Spine Callers buying time, but just simply that, buying time. These Stalkers going to come forward here. Sheth trying to load up some more Banelings. He just doesn't have enough.
This is kind of like... Well, this is kind of bad. I don't know what I was going to say.
Yeah,
I'm just in awe at the number of units here.
This is indeed kind of bad. I think Sheth may be taken out here.
Sheth is bringing his drones. A lot of Mutalisks here. And the Mutalisks, there are so many Mutalisks. It looks like... Is San's army going to be cleaned up?
There's a lot of Zerglings coming in here, and they are helping out.
Speedling's quite good against Stalkers, even when they have Blink. A lot of Overlords going down. You can see Sheth's supply dropping quite quickly, down only 91, but at the same time, San only has 110 supply.
And I think actually with these Stalkers coming in, he will clean up the army of Sheth.
Reinforcements are going to take out the Mutas, but there are more Speedlings streaming in, and Sheth might actually be able to hold on. Very nice transfuses there. More Mutalisks coming in, and the Overlords being Overlordy, and San is actually pushed back. That was a fantastic...
Oh, but this Archon's gonna do
man, the
so
Archon
much
needs
damage.
to pull back. Oh man, Sheth's Queen's caught off creep, getting a little overexcited there. Really needs to regroup before pushing back out. We can see the Queen's grouping up, but the big thing right now that's really tough for Sheth is he's stuck on 3 bases.
Exactly.
And that's really 1 mining base. That's all he's got.
And Sheth actually has a Zergling over here at the top
very
left.
good job, the Zergling. This is a little thing that makes a huge difference. I'm not sure if the observer saw it, but Sheth does have an burrowed Zergling denying the top left base of Sheth. Wow, I'm so excited. My voice hurts so much.
Calm down, QXC. Just
and
take
I
a little
can't
break.
even talk.
I'll
All
just talk for you, man.
Just do it. Just talk
All
a little bit.
All right, talk a little bit. Take a sip of water. There are a lot of Archons on the map for San, and that is going to be really difficult for Sheth to deal with because he's been making Speedlings, Banelings, and Mutas. And guess what does well against all 3 of those things? It's Archons. And this one DT is just killing all these long-distance mining drones. It's not even nice. It's not even fair. It's actually ruthless. And Banelings just do so badly against Archons. And that was a lot of lost supply. 118 supplies. GG with a trademark smiley from Sheth.
The Sheth
San takes game
face.
1.
San looks pretty confident.
And you're so unbelievable.
Looking good.
He's just taking a sip of his Gatorade or whatever drink that is. I'm not entirely sure. He hid the label for me. He's keeping it a mystery. San, he's mysterious. You don't know what he's drinking. You don't know what build he's going to do. He starts with a Stargate and just makes a bunch of Blink Stalkers. You just don't expect it. You see Sheth. There's a Slog and Unstable talking to him about that game. And I think if he had just dropped those Banelings a little bit better, and that one engagement I called him choking, because I feel like he just choked. He was like, I think I need to go now. But if he had just waited a few more seconds where his Banelings were actually with his army, it would have been fine. But after that engagement went badly, things just went really badly from there.
It's a really hard position to be in. It was basically like 10 or 15 minutes of maneuvering back and forth across the map where San really controlled most of the pace of the game. San was like, I'm going to poke here, and Sheth was like, I'm going to defend there. San poked here, and Sheth defended there. There weren't a lot of places where Sheth had map control. He was pushing out. He was denying base. It was just like, San's like, I don't want a third base. And then when he wanted a third base, he's like, I'm taking the third. And Sheth was like, all right, take it. I can't do anything.
Yeah, and Sheth going Mutas on that map was a good choice because, like I was saying, there's a lot of different ramps, there's a lot of different narrow pathways, so the Stalkers can't move around very quickly. Even if they have Blink, you try to blink all your Stalkers, and then like half of them get caught in a weird path, and they have to walk around. San did a really good job of splitting his Stalkers up into different groups. He's got the hatchery sniping group that makes the cancel hatchery. He's got the Muta dealing with group. He's got the annoying the Speedlings group.
The Muta dealing with group.
The Muta dealing with group. He
Muta
had one
dealing
of
with
those.
group, yep.
Every good Protoss on that map is going to have the Muta dealing with group of stalkers.
And that's a very important group of stalkers. We could call that like the Code S group of stalkers. That has the most important privileges, most important duties, because they are the Muta dealing with group.
They're the Muta dealing with stalkers, man.
The Muta dealing with stalkers.
They're not the stalkers dealing with mutas. They're the Muta dealing with stalkers.
Is that what I said? I don't
No,
even
that's
know
what I said.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said, man. They're the Muta dealing with stalkers, not the stalkers dealing with the mutas.
Whatever. You know what I mean, right?
We
Right?
know.
Let me
We understand each other.
I'm just going to distract you a little bit.
I'm looking at that, man. I'm actually just like, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at your hair. I'm just
It's pretty
looking at
nice.
it.
I like it.
Smells pretty nice, man.
Does
actually,
it?
I didn't sniff it. No,
I don't sniff it.
I'm not.
I
Does
think
it smell bad? Is that what
No,
you want
I
me to
mean,
sniff it? Is that what you don't want me to sniff
I
it?
use the shampoo that they gave us in the GOM house. I assume it smells good, but I don't spend a lot of time just... Oh, actually, that is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of smelling it from a distance. I didn't like go up and sniff it while you weren't looking. I was like, look at that, and I go and sniff your hair.
Hey, what's over there? Hey, what? Don't do that.
I won't.
The next
You can
map...
trust me, QXC.
I do trust you. The next map is Crevasse. Zerg versus Protoss.
Yeah, it's a map that I think really goes to both of these player styles quite well.
Starting.